Hey guys, welcome to my channel Sengupta's Creation. I am Yona Sengupta, your host and your coach, and today we'll be doing the question and answers of the chapter number crop and crop production and management, which is chapter number 1 of science, and do the questions from the book itself. So let us quickly start. We will not waste any time, but before starting, we need to we'll quickly recap. Okay, we will quickly recap. So let me start sharing the screen. So about recaption, here you go, you can see it. So about crop production, in first, what are crops? Very important, right? What are crops? Yes, when plants of the same kind are cultivated at one place on a large scale, it is called crop. Next is, in order to provide food to our growing population, we need to adopt certain agricultural measures. Same kind of plants cultivated at a place constitute a crop. And in India, crops can be broadly categorized into two types based on seasons: Rabi and Kharif crops. So what are Rabi and Kharif crops again? Kharif crops are the crops which are shown in the rainy season, are called Kharif crops, and the rainy season in India is generally from June to September because they need a lot of rain or water. Uh, then there is paddy, maize, soybean, groundnut, and cotton. These are some of the Kharif crops. Next is the Rabi crops, the crops which are grown from in the winter season, which is generally from October to March, are called Rabi crops. And the examples of these are wheat, gram, pea, mustard, and linseeds. And besides these, pulses and vegetables are grown during uh, summer at many places. Okay, summer also. So this is what I wanted to tell you. Now in it is necessary to prepare soil. By how do we prepare the soil? To prepare the soil, we need to be by tilling and leveling. Plows and levelers are used for this purpose. Then showing off seeds at appropriate depths and distances are good. Yields, a good variety of seeds are shown at selection and of healthy seeds and showing is done by seeders. Soil needs replenishment, right? It needs replenishment and enrichment through the use of organic manure and fertilizer. Use of chemical fertilizers has increased tremendously with the introduction of new crop varieties. Supply of water to crops at appropriate intervals is called irrigation, and weeding involves removal of unwanted and uncultivated plants called weeds. Harvesting is the cutting of the mature crop manually or by machines, and separation of the grains from the chaff is called threshing. Proper storage of grains is necessary to protect from them from the pests and organisms, microorganisms rather. And then the food is also obtained from animals from which animals are reared, and this is called animal husbandry. So what happens, that animals are reared at home or farms to have to be provided with proper food, shelter, and care. So when this is done on a large scale, it is called an animal husbandry. So let us quickly move on. Okay, so this is the recap session. These are some of the agricultural, the keywords: agricultural practices, animal husbandry, then crop, fertilizer, granaries, then harvesting, irrigation, kharif, manure, plow, rabi, then seeds, silo, sowing, showing, storage, threshing, weeds, weedicides, and winnowing. Now let us quickly move on to this part. Okay, so can you see it? Tell me, can you see it, everybody? So the first question, what is it? So the first is select the correct word from the following list and fill in the blanks. So the first one is so the words are float, water, crop, nutrients, and preparation. So the first one is the same kind of plants grown and cultivated on a large scale at a place is called, what is it called? Yes, it is called, I don't know, my this is not working. It is called a crop. It is called a crop. Okay, it is a crop. Next, we move on. Let's do this with maybe other color. Red. Okay, so the first next is the first step before growing crops. What is it called? The first step before growing crops is the preparation of soil. It is the preparation. It is the preparation. It is the preparation of soil. Next, we move on. Okay, so next is we move on to damaged seeds would dash on top of water. So damaged seeds would float on top of the water. So we can understand would float. Okay, would float. Next is for growing a crop, sufficient sunlight and dash from the soil are essential. So the answer is for growing a crop, sufficient sunlight, sufficient sunlight and water and sorry nutrients nutrients are very important. Next is we'll move on to number 2, which is match the columns. Okay, so in match items in column A with those in column B. So the in A there is Kharif crop, Rabi crops, chemical fertilizers, organic manure, and etc. And in B there is food for cattle, urea, super phosphate. Number C is animal excreta, cow dung, urine, and plant waste. And number D is wheat, gram, pea, and number E is paddy and maize. Okay, tell me the answers if you know. Should I make lines for this? Will it help you? Remember, there is a catch in here, that there is an extra in this. So let me write it down. Okay, I will draw it with a line. Okay, so first is the Kharif crop. First is the Kharif crop. We have known what is a Kharif crop, right? What is a Kharif crop? Tell me. A Kharif crop is grown when it is grown in the rainy season. Paddy and maize need more water, very sufficient amount of water. So, Kharif crops are examples are paddy, maize, like soybean, groundnut, and cotton, and etc. are these types. Rainy season means that in India it is actually from June to September. Then there we get is Rabi crops. Rabi crops goes to wheat. What does Rabi crops go to? Rabi crops go to wheat, right? Why does it go to wheat? It goes to wheat, gram pea, because these don't need water. Like they need, all plants need, but a little amount would do, right? So the so we know that the crops grown in winter season are called Rabi crops, which are the examples of Rabi crops are wheat, gram, pea, mustard, and linseed, and etc. Right? Next we get is chemical fertilizers. Now, what is a chemical fertilizer? Chemical fertilizer goes with, from the column, is urea and superphosphate. Urea and superphosphate. Okay. Next is organic manure. Organic manure goes with organic manure goes with this: animal secreta, cow dung, um, urine, plant, and waste. Okay, here I have drawn the lines. Okay, if you can't understand, then do a thing. Kharif crops is paddy and maize. I have highlighted crops is paddy and maize with yellow. Then there is the purple one with Rabi crops and wheat, gram p. And number three, chemical fertilizers is matching with urea and super phosphate with I have drawn it with orange. And then at last, number four, which I've drawn with blue, you can see that organic manure and matches with animal excreta, cow dung, urine, and plant waste. So two is done. Number three, this is really very easy, I think. From here only we have seen Let's go with green. Okay, number three, B. Okay. Now, since this has already happened, that we have written already paddy crops, paddy and maize in Kharif, let's change these two and write something else. Like for Kharif crops, there are many like cotton. Let's write cotton, and the other can be soya bean or groundnut. Let's write soya bean. Next is Rabi crop. In the match column. We have already written wheat, gram, and pea. So why not another two, which we can write it as linseed, linseed, and mustard maybe mustard. Right? This is it. So these are the answers. Next, we'll move on to number four, which is about writing a paragraph in your own words on each of the following. So the first one here is preparation of soil, next is sowing, then weeding, and then threshing. So the first one is we can write is preparation of soil. So what happens is just shortly write, don't write a big long paragraph. How, what is soil preparation? You need to write soil preparation is necessary before growing a crop, and it involves tilling and loosening the soil, and this allows the roots to penetrate deep in the soil and to breathe easily even when they are deep. So let's write down here. Okay, so this is number four. So this is number A, preparation of soil. Okay, next one is number B, sowing. So what is sowing? Sowing, the process of putting seeds into the soil is called sowing, and the tool which is traditionally used for sowing seeds is a funnel shaped, and nowadays a seed drill is used for showing with the help of tractors. The tool shows the seeds uniformly at a proper distance and depth. So I'll quickly number B for okay, a little higher. Next is we get number C, for C, which is weeding. Next is number C, weeding. Weeding, what is weeding? Weeding, some undesirable plants grow along with the crop, right? And these unwanted plants are known as what? They are known as um, weeds. They are called weeds. And the process of removing these unwanted plants or this weeds are called weeding. So number 4, C. Okay, since I don't have place here, so I will put it here then. Next is number D, threshing. What is threshing? Threshing is the process. Threshing is the process that the grain seeds from the chaff is called threshing. Since I have some place left here, then I'll write it down here. This is called threshing. Okay, so we have already done with number 4. Now let's move on to number 5, which is, what is it? Explain. At the end you can see, explain how fertilizers are different from manures. Okay, so they are really very much different. How? Let's see. First, you can give this, maximum will have 4 marks. Okay, so the first one you can give is, a fertilizer is an inorganic salt, whereas a manure is a natural substance obtained by the decomposition of cattle dung, human waste, and plant refuse. Second, you can give is fertilizer. A fertilizer is prepared in factories, whereas manures can be prepared in the fields with the cow dungs and all those, right? Um, so, and number 3 of fertilizers is, a fertilizer does not provide any humus to the soil, whereas manures does. Manures provides a lot of humus to the soil. And number D is, fertilizers are rich in nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, whereas manures is reactively less rich in plant nutrients. Okay, so for you here I have number 5. Okay, so done. This is the answer total here. Next is number 6. What is irrigation? And describe 2 methods of irrigation which conserve water. Now, this is very important. What is irrigation? Irrigation is the artificial method of for asserting assisting in their growth, is called the irrigation. Okay, let's write down quickly. This is number 6. The next one is this part. The part question for this is describe two methods. Describe two methods of irrigation conserve water. Which conserve water. So the first is sprinkler system, right? Sprinkler system. What happens? The irrigation system that has an arrangement of vertical pipes while rotating nozzles in the top. This is number 1. Next is number 2 at last. The number second method is drip irrigation system. What happens? This irrigation system has an arrangement of pipes or tubes with very small holes in them to water plants drop by drop just at the base of the root. Okay, and it is very efficient as water is not wasted at all. This is number 2. Okay, so number 6 is done, right? Next is we'll move on to number 7. Number 7 is if wheat is shown is in Kharif season, what would happen? Discuss. Now, wheat in Kharif season, like Kharif season again, Kharif season in is Kharif crops are grown in rainy season, and Ravi crops are shown in winter season. But wheat is grown in winter season, right? So if it is grown in Kharif season, what will happen? We actually wheat crop is sown from November or December to March or April. So it is grown in winter and requires less water. If wheat is sown in Kharif crop, its production will be decreased considerably because of the heavy rainfall. Sorry. Okay, number 7, right? You just write that not to you say March till April. Okay. Next, next we get is number 8. Explain how soil gets affected by the continuous plantation of crops in a field. Okay, now continuous plantation of crops makes the soil poorer, doesn't they? Makes the soil poorer, and in certain nutrients, the crops take up nutrients from the soil, so the soil becomes infertile and it does not get enough time to replenish the nutrients. Again, explain how soil gets affected by the continuous plantation of crops in a field. The answer is continuous plantation of crops make the soil poorer in certain nutrients as the crops take up nutrients from the soil, and the soil becomes infertile and it does not get enough time to replenish the nutrients, right? We didn't have these. Okay. Okay, so it will be number 8 we were doing. Okay. So after this is number 9. What is number 9? Number 9 is what are weeds and how can we control them? What are weeds? So, the undesirable and unwanted plants which grow naturally along with the crop are called weeds, and the growth of weeds can be controlled by adopting many ways. So, tilling before showing the crops helps in the uprooting and killing of weeds, so which may then dry up and get mixed up with the soil. And weeds are also controlled by certain chemicals called weedicides, and weedicides are spread in the fields to kill the weeds. Okay, so green. So this is number 9. So again, this is the answer. Okay, if I get any space, I don't know if I'm getting any space. Most cow dungs. Yes, yes. So we will move on to the next part. What is the next part? Let's see. What is the next part? Tell me. The next part is number 10. But before, did you understand number 9? Again, you read it. What is number 9? Number 9 is that the undesirable and unwanted plants which grow naturally along with the crops are called weeds, and the growth of weeds can be controlled by adopting many ways. Tilling before showing the of crops. It helps in the uprooting and killing of weeds. Okay. Next is weeds are also controlled by using certain chemicals called weedicides. Okay, weedicides which are spread in fields to kill the weeds. So this was all for today. Next is number 10. Number 10 of just a second. Then so this is the end of my class. Okay, I will meet you next day again. Tata. Have a nice